The continuous conflict between two of the biggest names in the league, Wilson and Caitlin Clark, has reached a new level of heights. Wilson is a powerful figure, a two-time WNBA champion and women's basketball. At last, MVP has spoken up in how nobody anticipated the arrival of an explosion and the very contentious revelation. Wilson talked candidly about her emotions, leaving minimal space in the direction of Caitlin Clark. She wants Clark to interpret expelled from the WNBA for good. But why does Wilson have such strong feelings regarding? How did their rivalry go? Caitlin Clark. From a conflict of competition on the court to an intense dispute that's fans, players, and the league are divided. It remains with us when we delve into the narrative and examine Wilson's remarks, and talk about the implications of this for the WNBA's future before we destroy it. Remember to subscribe to the notification bell was triggered by our channel, and leave a comment with your thoughts below. We'll play a significant role in this discussion. Let us know if you're on the Wilson or Clark team. No. So let's discuss it at Wilson's shocking remarks in the video leak. The dispute began with a seemingly straightforward video release, but it happens fast. Snowballed into a much more significant. Wilson's clip from a year ago reappeared, where her honest speech is audible regarding women's white privilege. Basketball in particular. Players such as Paige and Caitlin Clark. Wilson, during a discussion with Kelsey Plum, her Las Vegas Aces teammate, didn't hold back when speaking. Instead, she discussed how the white privilege of Clark contributed to her quick ascent. She is a talented basketball player in the WNBA. Wilson states in the video, of course, but she is aware of her privilege, which is what makes her go overboard for many. This statement struck viewers as indirect implication that Clark's achievement wasn't really merited, or that her talent is enhanced at the very least due to her racial heritage. Since then, supporters have shared the leak widely, hastily posting on social media to share their ideas that frequently take sides in the expanding rift between two league members. Most brilliant stars, Wilson, who has demonstrated outspoken on racial and privilege problems in the past, obviously has strong feelings for the discrepancy in support and attention that athletes like Beers and Clarks obtain in contrast to their black colleagues. The video revealed a more extensive discussion around race and, specifically, how white women's sport athletes are frequently more marketable, get more deals for endorsements, and are elevated in the manner that athletes of color are not. The rookie phenom Caitlin Clark, with a target on Caitlin Clark's back being well known, has been nothing short of meteoric. Originating from an extraordinary was attending college in Iowa, where she broke records and turned into a household name. Clark smoothly changed into. In 2024, the WNBA will join the Indiana Fever. Had a memorable freshman season. Clark's age not only established the record for most assists in a season, but moreover turned into the Fever's face, revitalizing a franchise that is having trouble and causing them to, for the first time in the playoffs. Almost 10 years of her thrilling performance on the court, in conjunction with her innate capacity for leadership, has made analogies to a few of the finest basketball players such as Larry Bird, Diana Taurasi, and Steph Curry. Her high-energy, three-point basketball style, heavy and exciting, became popular right away, with supporters shattering records, audience, and crowded arenas anytime. Despite the Fever, she was successful. An increasing undercurrent of anxiety emerged, whereas Clark emerged as the favorite of the media and received recognition for her talent. Several of her WNBA peers, black sportsmen in particular, started to believe that her ascent was a sign of a more significant issue within the BOA. This sentiment regarding the problem of racial privilege simmered for several months, but it's evident that Wilson's assertions that animosity had been increasing for a while. The backlash In opposition to Wilson's remarks after the video, Wilson's comments caused the reaction to leak. Was a swift and ardent Caitlin fan. Clark jumped to her defense right away, claiming that her ability speaks of itself, as well as that Wilson's remarks were nothing but social media jealousy, turned into a battlefield with Clark's. Wilson's supporters claimed that he used race to discredit CL's achievements. #HaltAHate started using hashtags like popular as supporters chastised Wilson for what they believed to be race-playing card, but Wilson had her with him. Supporters, a large number of fans and analysts, observed that she was raising a legitimate mention of the racial inequities within the WNBA and the realm of sports generally. Although black athletes are frequently the foundation of their squads are usually ignored in favor of athletes who are white, who are more marketable, according to some instances of media and endorsement agreements. Coverage in which Clark and other white athletes and Beckers received favorable treatment in spite of the superior or equal their black counterparts' talent is. It is noteworthy that Wilson's remarks weren't always about dwindling Clark's skills, rather she was pointing out that the ascent of Clark had been with the help of circumstances beyond her control, specifically her race, but Wilson's presented her case, particularly in such a sparked a fury in public that has only kept expanding the fallout loss. Chaos and Vegas Aces. The timing of the video lag was unbelievably bad for the Las Vegas Aces and Aya Wilson, team that has maintained its dominance throughout. For a large portion of the season, there was a playoff crisis following the first two drops. Their series matches versus the new tensions in York Liberty were already high. Becky Hammond, the head coach, was spotted shouting at her players while they're on the sidelines, as reports of internal strife started to swirl now, adding the drama of, in Wilson's remarks, the Aces are fully. Many fans and commentators are in crisis mode, pondering whether the team's difficulties are connected, given the turmoil off-court that has been, with Wilson playing such a key role in the brewing. Figures' words and actions on the team bear a lot of weight. Some people think that the Aces are having trouble concentrating on basketball that is currently receiving a lot of attention. Shifted to the dispute over Hammond, their top player coach, is well known because her straightforward approach has been comparatively quiet about the matter. But it's obvious that this is a diversion. If the Aces are disappearing, the team cannot afford. In order to improve their season, they will require to figure out how to silence the sounds and concentrate on the current work. But with Wilson's remarks are still the main focus. Perhaps it's easier to say the news cycle completed. Caitlin Clark's quiet, clever or uninformed in the middle of all the chaos. One individual has noticeably stayed. Caitlin Clark has been quiet since Clark has not released any video leaks to the public declarations responding to Wilson's remarks or the scandal that surrounds her. This quiet is perceived by some as Clark's rise through a calculated move. Stay out of the fray and concentrate on her game. Others, however, believe Clark should express herself, either to protect herself or to recognize the problems of privilege and representation that has been brought up. Clark is in a difficult situation. On the one hand, answering Wilson's remarks could add fuel to the flames and split the fan base even further. On the other hand, being quiet could be seen as disregarding the very genuine. Wilson raised certain difficulties, which are a delicate equilibrium, and thus far Clark has choose to avoid the limelight, if that was the proper choice. For now, it is unclear what Clark's priorities are. Appears to be getting ready for the WNBA season 2025, when anticipations for are considerably more elevated than they previously were. During her first season, she had a a season to practice her skills. Her fans are thrilled to observe her progress, and is she capable of causing the temperature to even higher altitudes? But with the dispute remains looming over her, though it's not apparent how it will have a significant effect on her performance going forward. The function of using social media to magnify the drama. Among the most important elements of this, the role of controversy in social, the role of the media in promoting it. The video that was leaked of Wilson's remarks was published on X, a previous Twitter account, where it rapidly amassed millions of views and generated a contentious discussion among supporters. Social networking sites such as X, Instagram, and TikTok have turned into battlefields for Wilson and Clark admirers, with each side vehemently protecting their favorite player, whether it's good or bad. Social media is become an essential component of the world of sports, and this controversy is a good illustration of how things can easily get out of hand. In the digital era, while websites such as X lets followers interact with their favored members of the teams, they also give toxicity a place to flourish. The video leak's comment section is brimming with backing for Wilson and insulting remarks directed at her, in addition to Clark, who has allegedly benefited from a system that excludes Black people. It serves as a reminder of the might of athletes, social media's influence on forming popular opinion, but the real Wilson and Clark's disagreement would not have been as explosive in the absence of the platform's viral nature of the video provided a forum for fans to express their viewpoints for better or worse. What does this imply for the WNBA as a whole? Keeps gaining popularity. Disputes like as this one as the WNBA keeps gaining popularity. Disputes such as the one between Caitlin Clark and Wilson have enormous potential to either favorably or adversely affect the league's prospects. On the one hand, this circumstance has led to lots of attention and buzz, bringing the league into the public discourse in manners that have historically been challenging to accomplish. But character of the dispute, which has its roots in concerns about racial privilege and, additionally, representation, may cause fan division, foundation, and exacerbate tensions between. Wilson's remarks have allowed players to crucial conversations regarding the racial sports dynamics, especially in the debate about women's basketball, pertaining to white privilege and how it impacts marketability and endorsement agreements. Support from fans is not new. It has been sharpened in attention by Wilson's comments regarding the WNBA's Clark, which has always taken pleasure in being the progressive league, is currently battling these problems in a very publicly speaking. There is more at risk here, more than just two players' reputations. The league itself has to determine the best way to discuss the more general racial issues and advantage that Wilson's remarks have revealed. Will the WNBA adopt actions to guarantee greater equity in the process? Players are promoted, assisted, or will it keep promoting players such as, in spite of their indisputable? Additionally, talent could be gaining from systems of priv that give preference to their Black counterparts as athletes and spectators. Keep debating the matter. One thing is evident, that this dispute is far from the forthcoming season will probably see greater strain as the league maneuvers through Wilson's fallout. Remark Clark's lack of response and the continuous conversations regarding women's rights and race. Meanwhile, sports enthusiasts will be keeping a close eye on how the WNBA manages what might be a pivotal moment. Wilson's dissatisfaction with the league representation of more general WNBA issues. Wilson's annoyance isn't only about Caitlin Clark, it concerns the more general problems that Black women in for decades sports have been dealing with. Wilson Clark's ascent to fame has raised awareness of the systemic differences that have persisted for a long time in women's athletics, namely in about the endorsement of media coverage, Black players' deals, and fan support. Even though they are among the most gifted and diligent athletes in the league, are frequently disregarded in favor of their white peers who are thought to be more marketable or acceptable to the general public. Viewers are aware that this issue is not new, and the WNBA isn't the only one Every sport has a well-established black athletes passed as ostracized, whereas white athletes obtain greater possibilities and attention. Wilson Clark is the most recent. An illustration of this discrepancy is a gifted player who is getting a disproportionate quantity of attention not only due to her athletic abilities on the court but also due to Wilson's remarks regarding her race, therefore, are not simply about Clark. They're regarding a system that yet favors. Despite this, white athletes outperform black ones. The contributions made by black athletes arrive in the league, and Wilson's words have provoked debate. They have additionally sparked a crucial discussion regarding how sports in general and the WNBA can develop greater equity. Caitlin Clark's involvement in the dispute for her. Caitlin Clark hasn't said anything. In the midst of Wilson's firestorm, comments have been made, and some people could see this as a sensible choice to remain out of the dispute and concentrating on her performance. Others think that Clark's lack of response is troublesome for someone who is gaining from Wilson's system. Some critics contend that Clark has an obligation to recognize the benefits that have enabled her to fame, but Clark's circumstances are complex. Even though she might gain from certain advantages her ability, and there is no denying Clark's diligence. The rookie season was absolutely amazing, and she has merited her position among the best players in the league. For Clark, navigating this is now the challenge. Dispute without compromising her own achievements while everyone is so recognized.